I'd like to get straight to the next presentation. It's going to be a video being shown from Nisha, who is a journalist with a background in both local and national radio, television and online news. She previously worked for the BBC Asian Network. She regularly undertakes stories relating to ethnic minorities from the Northeast and has recently produced a series of reports about Muslim women being attacked for wearing the burqa and the niqaab. So this video that we're going to play next is going to show that Nisha's day in the veil, I suppose, and then she'll be coming to talk a little bit more about that after the video's finished. Thanks.
Just lower the microphone, I think. That's a little bit better. So as you can see from that video, there was quite a wide range of opinions. And the strongest was obviously the first man who you saw. Now what was interesting about that was I was actually quite far away from him initially. And he caught sight of me in the burqa and niqab and the cameras. You know, there was no hidden cameras, everything was very open. We were very open about the fact that people were being filmed. And he marched over, and he wanted to have his say. He didn't want to just have his say, he wanted to have his shout. Now, when we do reports, we often ask members of the public, what's your opinion of this, what's your opinion of that? And on camera, it can be quite difficult to get people to talk. But on this subject, it was fascinating because people approached us a lot of the time because people wanted to have their say. They almost felt entitled to have their say about this subject. And the views that you saw there, they were wide-ranging and they were a good representation of what actually happened that day. Now, one thing that you didn't see on the video, because it's very difficult to condense a day into 2 minutes of footage, was the man at the beginning said, when I was questioning him and questioning his views, I asked him, what's your problem with me covering up? And he said, you might have a beautiful figure under there, but I would never know. And that was it. Interesting is the word. And I did feel at that point that some people almost feel like they have the right to see what someone looks like. Other comments, not quite as crude as that, were, I just want to see your face. And it genuine, I just want to see your face. So it made me realise that we are, well, I say we, but people are obsessed with appearances and how people look. So why did we do a report like this? I think it's fair to say you probably wouldn't see something like that on Look North or Time Tees. Well, as Abu Tayyib said, I did a couple of interviews with ladies who wear the burqa and or niqab who had been attacked. And for us, we wanted to delve a little bit deeper within our means, which is online, which is making short videos. And we wanted to humanise it, to humanise this issue a little bit. And that's why they wanted to put me in someone else's shoes, just to see what it felt like. And it was an experiment. As I said in the video, this is an experiment. And it was just supposed to be a further snapshot, a further insight from which our viewers could maybe form a different opinion or maybe reinforce the opinion they already have. It's just another tool for someone to maybe make their mind up. So I wore the burqa and niqab for around 8 hours. I spent some time on my own away from the cameras so I could have a bit of a genuine experience as well as a few hours being followed by the camera. So I'm not speaking on behalf of women who choose to wear the burqa and niqab. But how I felt initially, as I said, was I felt like I stuck out like a sore thumb because it's not a common sight. And the other thing for me was that having spoken to women who wear the niqab, they say that they often build up to it. So maybe they start off with a hijab, maybe then the burqa, maybe then the niqab. And obviously I was just thrown in at the deep end. And I was a little bit scared. My mum even said to me, how do you feel about doing this? Are you not scared? And I think it was literally fear of the unknown. I started off a little bit nervous. By the end of it, I was pretty confident walking around. I had no problem going to Greg's, as you can see, buying myself a sandwich or whatever. And, you know, it's an experience that I am absolutely glad that I undertook. And I think it's helped my understanding. You know, it was from profound comments to the mundane about being on the metro and fiddling about with my hair. I realised how obsessed I could be with my own appearance. And when Muslim women tell me that they feel liberated by wearing the niqab, I understood that a bit more profoundly from having had that experience. So one thing that was refreshing was that yes, there were negative comments, yes, there were stares, but there were positive ones, like that guy at the end of the video. He said, it's just because we're not used to it, but I don't have a problem. And the majority of people that day didn't seem to have a problem. But I know that is just one day. It's not a long experience of wearing one. So that video, it was top story on the website, and it had a huge reaction. I think it was much bigger than we were actually expecting. So, for example, on Tuesday, I was in Heaton. Some of you might be aware that a Tesco was robbed. And I was there for another story, and I popped into the grocery store next door, and I was chatting to the guy, and he showed me the Sky Town and Rio app, and he went, are you the girl that put the burqa on and the niqab? And I said, yes, and very tentatively, what did you think? And he really liked it. He was like, I'm glad, it was nice to see you do it. So we've had a lot of positive reactions, hundreds of comments on social media, but many negative. But the sign for us of positive and negative comments is a well-balanced story with a range of opinions that's getting people talking and thinking and communicating about it. So, I mean, what we wanted to do then, my job as a journalist, it isn't, as a broadcast journalist in particular, I know the Daily Mail might have, in print generally, a slightly different, they do have opinions. This wasn't about opinion, it wasn't about comment. It was a snapshot of an experience. We presented that experience to our viewers for them to form their own opinions. What we hope that we've done by the interviews with Muslim women who'd been attacked, those were two stories that, I mean, Abu Tayyab can tell you, I really pushed to do, was because we didn't want to just talk about the face veil, but the women behind it, the humans behind the face veil. And I hope we've given some people some food for thought in 2 minutes of online video.